It will last and how it's affecting our health.
Also, a click of the mouse takes parents inside a local high school. Check out one of the latest ways to help keep schools safe.
Plus, hundreds of people are losing their jobs, the majority of them women. And right now, they don't know where to turn.
And get the details of upcoming visits from Al Gore and George Bush.
It's all next at 6 on News Channel 3.
Go inside. On the next Inside Edition, the star of one of America's favorite family shows says something terrible happened to her.
The only reason I'm trusting Inside Edition with my feelings.
Exclusive, one star's shocking story. Plus, inside the coffee shop with Meg Ryan and Russell Crowe. Intimate video of the Hollywood lovers. And the big moment for the cheerleader and mom switching places. Mom makes her stadium debut and the cheerleader's overwhelmed. Watch the next Inside Edition.
And that is Inside Edition for today. I'm Deborah Norville. Thanks for watching. Don't miss it next time. It's going to be good.
You think this ball is big? Wait till you see the size of this one. Somebody's going to win. Might as well be you.
State Senator Walter Doc Blevins addressing the issues, running a positive campaign. It's why so many people are supporting Senator Walter Blevins. On Tuesday, vote to keep State Senator Walter Doc Blevins fighting for us. And winning.
Under Cecil Underwood, West Virginia's economy ranks last, dead last, and 50th in family income. But Underwood opposes giving preference to local workers for state construction jobs, opposes funding middle-class college scholarships, and worked to raise hospital costs for families and small business. Bob Wise. Endorsed by West Virginia mine workers, he's always fought for coal. He'll put local workers first, teach real job skills, and fund promise scholarships for middle-class families. Bob Wise, leadership that fights for us.
This is WSAZ News Channel 3, 6 o'clock.
The smoky haze is thick tonight across our area. How long will it linger, and how does it affect our health?
Plus, get on the web, and some parents can watch their children at school. Find out how the students feel about the inside look at their lives. Good evening, I'm Samantha Cozy in Charleston.
And I'm Tim Ear in Huntington. The hills are burning and there is no end in sight. Brush fires are scorching hundreds of acres across our region in Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia. 7 counties in Kentucky are under a burn ban right now. Boyd, Lawrence, Pike, Floyd, Johnson, Magoffin, and Martin counties. News Channel 3's Michael Goins has been out on the fire lines all day, and he joins us now from the newsroom. And Mike, these fires are becoming a bigger and bigger concern every minute.
They certainly are, Tim. You know, most of these fires are burning out in remote areas, but a few are getting close to homes.
That had to be somebody said, I don't know.
Ricky Bowen has been watching his hillside for 2 days, watching flames inch closer to his home and his horses.
Nobody's well here got enough water in it to put one out. I mean, where it's been so dry. Ain't no city water down this way.
State forestry crews move in, putting a line between homes and the flames.
The danger is not only for homes that are near these forest fires and parts of the coal fields, but also there is a health risk, not only to those who are fighting these fires, but those who have to live among the smoke and the haze.
The thick smoke that layers many areas of Kentucky is moving into the Ohio Valley. Doctors say it can mean additional problems for those with asthma and allergies.
Allergic patients have allergic inflammation going on already, but whenever you put the smoke on top of it, it adds more fuel to the fire.
One of the hardest things is that they're out here for so many hours, day after day.
The health risk is also great for firefighters, both physically and mentally.
A lot of the importance of firefighting is being able to stay mentally alert. You can't let little things start slipping because that can lead to big problems.
The strain has claimed some. Already a few crew members have quit and walked away from the woods. But Philip Rice is staying because he loves the job and keeps it all in perspective.
You just got to stay pretty well calm, do your job, and everything pretty well comes out to the good.
Now, Tim, that big fire out in the river area that's been burning for several days is considered under control tonight, but Ron Myers with the Kentucky Division of Forestry says they will continue to keep crews out in the area digging fire lines around these homes as long as they're needed to. That way, in case the fires kick up again, those homes will be protected.
Mike, I noticed today at midday you mentioned the National Guard will be sending in some help.
That's exactly right, Tim. 3 Black Hawk helicopters will be brought into the Betsy Lane office. That is down in our southern part of our Kentucky viewing area, Pike and Floyd in those areas. 2 helicopters will be used to dump water on the fires. The other one will be used to spot fires. Right now, though, there are no plans to bring in any National Guard troops or out-of-state help to fight these fires in Kentucky.
Tough situation for the firefighters and the people who live down there. Thanks. News Channel 3's Michael Goins live in our Huntington newsroom. It's tough to breathe outside with all the smoke in the air, so is there any relief in sight? Well, meteorologist David Aldrich joins us now from Harris Riverfront Park Live with some answers on that. Dave?
Well, Tim, I'm out here on top of the bumper of the first warning weather van. You can see the winds have been relatively light today, so the smoke has been stagnant. How many acres have been burning in the Mountain State? Well, take a look at this graphic. Over 3,000 acres and growing are currently burning or have burned in the Mountain State over the course of the season. Now, just this week alone, I'm told from Steve Young, he's a communications officer for the West Virginia Forestry Department, he's telling me that 2,200 acres have been burning this week alone. And I'm also told from Steve Young, Tim, that we are actually above normal for this time last year. We had the drought of 1999 and a wet summer this summer, but because of the exceptionally dry month in October, there has been some concern. But fortunately, there's some good news. A weak cold front will push through tomorrow, so it should stir that smoke a little bit more for tomorrow. Tony will have more on the forecast coming up in a few moments.
Any relief at all would help those forest fighters.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, David. In other news now, as parents, we worry about our children's safety, especially when we can't see them. Well, now parents at home, at work, or really anywhere in the world for that matter, can look inside one local high school as long as they have a computer. News Channel 3's Stephanie Dusick shows us how security is getting high-tech at South Charleston High School.
Teachers aren't the only ones watching students at South Charleston High School, and the eyes just multiplied. Every 10 seconds, video pictures from inside the school are put on the internet for anyone to see. It's a new tool for the school and parents.
Inform parents of what is happening here at school, what is happening in the classroom, and for the parents to be able to hit on Mrs. Creech's web page and find out what her son or daughter is doing that particular day, or even when the tests are.
One of the web cameras is even mounted right outside by the entrance. Parents and students can log on and even check out the progress of construction for the expansion project.
Senior Ian McNeely doesn't mind cameras watching him or his mom keeping tabs online.
She knows when the semester ends. I mean, it really keeps your parent informed, so you can't hide anything. And as much as you'd like to, I guess.
These are lab schedules now.
And while Ian is in school, his mother, Sandy McNeely, is at work. But she can still look inside the computer lab to see her son.
I think it's a good thing because I think it helps with the security of the school to be able to see what's going on in some of the classrooms.
And there are other advantages of knowing how computers and webcams work. Advantages only teens like Ian could appreciate.
These really pretty girls are like, oh, I don't know how to do this, can you help me? And then it's kind of an icebreaker type deal. So.
Stephanie Dusick, WSAZ News Channel 3, South Charleston.
Way to go, Ian. And Ian and some other computer-savvy students are paid to work after school to keep the computers up and running. And they were a big part in getting the webcams wired up in the first place. If you'd like to check out the South Charleston High School website, we have made it easy for you. You can go to WSAZ.com and click on featured links. Webcams aren't the only technology making schools safer. Today, 10 schools, 5 in West Virginia, 3 in Ohio, and 1 in Kentucky, received wireless phones, each free of charge. Parking lot monitors, school security guards, and teachers will use the phones to communicate during an emergency.
You never know when people can get into the building. We do have security cameras and things of this sort, but we don't actually have police here on campus.
Schools get the phones for a year, and then they can reapply for another year in the program. Have you picked who you're going to vote for president? Well, both Al Gore and George W. Bush are coming to West Virginia this weekend, hoping to get your vote. Vice President Gore was in Charleston last Friday. This Saturday, he plans to be at a campaign rally at Tri-State Airport in Huntington. It starts at 9:30 in the morning. Mr. Gore will probably speak at around 11 o'clock. Country music star Kathy Mattea will also be a part of that rally. You do need a ticket. but you can pick one up for free at the Democratic headquarters near you, the United Mine Workers office in Charleston, the Southwestern District Labor Council office, and Marshall University Student Center. You can also get tickets at the gate. Texas Governor George W. Bush will be in Morgantown tomorrow night. He is scheduled to be at a rally at Morgantown High School. The event will be in the school's gymnasium at 7:30. Now, this will be Bush's third visit to West Virginia during the campaign. He's already stopped in Huntington and also in Charleston. Rallies for George W. Bush and other Republican candidates will be held throughout Kentucky tomorrow. Senators Mitch McConnell and Jim Bunning will lead the tour. At 1:45 tomorrow, they will be in Paintsville at the Johnson County Courthouse. Then at 3:45, the stop is in Ashland at the Highlands Museum and the Discovery Center. At 5:15, they'll hit Vanceburg, rallying at the Lewis County Courthouse. And that is not all. Senator Ted Kennedy will be in Logan County tomorrow night at the Fieldhouse. His son, Representative Patrick Kennedy, will be at the Charleston Civic Center. Saturday morning, John McCain will be in Charleston, and Sunday afternoon, Barbara Bush will be in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Very busy. In tonight's West Virginia poll, Social Security. Many people think at some point Social Security will not be able to deliver the promised benefits. There are several plans to help save money. One is investing in the stock market. Nearly half of those polled told us the federal government should not invest Social Security money in the stock market. 39% thought some of the money should be invested. Only 1% said the government should invest all of the funds into the stock market. Another plan would allow people to have some control over their own Social Security money. 44% said citizens should have control over some of their money. 28% said citizens should have control over all of the money. And 21% don't think citizens should control any of the money when it comes to saving Social Security. 47% think the government should allocate more money. 16% think payroll taxes should be increased. 9% think retirement age should be raised, and 5% favor decreasing the benefits. Free trade with China, tax cuts, and funding the federal government were some of the topics addressed by Kentucky's 4th congressional candidates last Sunday on WSAZ. Tonight, we hear Ken Lucas on trade, Don Bell on tax cuts, and Alan Handelman on government funding.
That in the long run, opening up this market of 1.2 billion people to the products and services that we have here in this country will benefit the workers in America to a great extent.
And during the Kennedy administration and the Reagan administration, there were tax cuts. And you know what? Revenue increased. It ignited the economy.
Funding the federal government constitutionally by excise taxes and by tariffs. That is the way that the Constitution of the United States mandates that the federal government shall be funded.
And still ahead here at 6 o'clock, a local plant is closing. Now hundreds of workers wonder where they will go for good-paying jobs. And kids count. Since they can't vote in November on November 7th, one school decided to hold an election today for all the kids. We'll tell you what the outcome is.
You're watching WSAZ News Channel 3, where your news comes first. Live from Charleston and live from Huntington with Tim Ear and Samantha Cozy. This is News Channel 3, 6 o'clock.
Republican Chris Ratliff's been attacking Democrat Ray Jones. It's time for the truth. You can't trust Republican Chris Ratliff. When arrested for driving under the influence, Republican Chris Ratliff was so violent he had to be restrained from attacking jail personnel. At his trial, he said our laws didn't apply to him. You can't trust Republican Chris Ratliff to follow our laws. How can we trust him in Frankfurt? It's time for a change. Elect Democrat Ray Jones.
I believe we need to encourage personal responsibility so people are accountable for their actions. And I believe in government that is responsible to the people. There's a big difference in philosophy between my opponent and me. You trust government, I trust you. I trust you to invest some of your own Social Security money for higher returns. I trust local people to run their own schools. I trust you with some of the budget surplus. We should help people live their lives, but not run them. I'm asking for your vote.
The Charleston Gazette endorses Jim Humphreys. We think Humphreys is the better choice because important national issues are at stake. Humphrey's priorities? Extending medical insurance to the 43 million Americans who have none, and providing prescription drugs to seniors. And Shelley Moore Capito? Capito would strengthen the GOP majority that constantly obstructs help for average Americans. Democrat Jim Humphreys on our side.
As governor, George W. Bush gave big oil a tax break while opposing health care for 220,000 kids. Texas now ranks 50th in family health care. He's left the minimum wage at $3.35 an hour. Let polluters police themselves. Today, Texas ranks last in air quality. Now Bush promises the same $1 trillion from Social Security to two different groups. He squanders the surplus on a tax cut for those making over $300,000. Is he ready to lead America?
Are you eating fewer mushrooms than usual these days?
Producers say declining demand is forcing them to shut down a local mushroom plant that's been open for years. And as News Channel 3's Randy Yohe shows us, the 250 employees losing their jobs face big challenges in finding new work.
They grow, they pick, and they package a variety of mushrooms here at Money Mushrooms Limited. Jackson County's Stockmeister family founded the operation back in the early 70s. But they sold out to Campbell's, they sold out to Vlasic, and they sold out to the current Canadian owners. Harvest Supervisor Virginia Birch worries with the shutdown, her 21-year employment investment here just won't pay off.
I was looking to take early retirement at 55, and so, now I'm going to have to go back to school and get trained to do something else.
It wasn't an easy decision to make. It's got mostly just to do with supply and demand and the market we have now. It's in no way a reflection of the people that work here.
More than half the employees at the mushroom plant here are women, and with an average wage of $8.50 an hour, full benefits and vacations, this is a tough job for the women of the region to lose.
They're the more conscientious, of what they're doing, and their quality's better.
40 employees have left the plant since they announced the shutdown a month ago. Other plant workers say hitting the pavement in search of new employment will be no cakewalk.
Well, there's several of them shutting down. You got a few of them also, they're laying off.
In the meantime, the plant is setting up an employment help center, and they say there are 3 potential buyers that may keep this mushroom plant growing. Randy Yohe, WSAZ News Channel 3, Jackson.
Money Foods is also closing mushroom plants in Pennsylvania, in Texas, and in Illinois. The Jackson plant in Ohio will pack its last mushroom on December 31st.
Jackson County hopes to help balance the closing of the mushroom plant with the opening of 2 new power plants, but some residents are putting up a fight. Cogentrix Energy wants to build a $500 million electric plant on this rural site in Franklin Township. The Jones family lives nearby. They like the tax break that comes with the new plants, but pressure from other neighbors who don't agree caused some township trustees to renege on the agreement. Economic developers say the Cogentrix and neighboring energy plants will provide clean industry, good-paying jobs, and millions in local revenue.
In this area where we have layoffs at the atomic facility in those same pay ranges, this is a good chance that a lot of those people could fit here.
The state is trying to resolve the conflict outside of the courtroom. Well, even after all of the rain we got this summer, Tim, the Division of Forestry says it only takes a few sunny, windy days to make it dry enough for fires.
And you think about it, it's been at least a couple of weeks since we had a good rain around here.
That's right, and we're hoping it will change. Chief Meteorologist Tony Cavalier will have the details in the first warning forecast.
Justice Deborah Cook, 10 years experience. Justice Deborah Cook, a clear-headed jurist, rendering decisions validated by the Constitution, not popularity polls and special interests. Justice Deborah Cook, unmatched experience, proven integrity.
Terrence O'Donnell believes in applying the law without fear or favor. He does not make policy from the bench. Judge Terrence O'Donnell has real-world experience and Ohio values. Judge Terrence O'Donnell, honest, common sense, conservative.
For his crusade to protect Ohio's children, he's been called a champion. Senator Mike DeWine. His new law prevents the child welfare system from returning foster children to abusive parents. He established a nationwide hotline in case a child is accidentally poisoned. And DeWine's fighting for medical research to save children's lives.
When I see a child that's sick or in danger, I think that could be my child.
Senator Mike DeWine, a proven fighter for Ohio's kids and families.
Can working families trust Jim Humphreys? He wants billions in new government spending, 92 expanded or new federal bureaucracies, resulting in higher taxes for every West Virginian, hurting our economy, costing us jobs. Shelley Moore Capito, named one of the top 3 delegates for job creation, supported job training to help workers learn new skills. The Daily Mail calls her a refreshing change from politics as usual. Shelley Moore Capito, an independent leader we can trust.
They were having problems with the space shuttle at the time. That led to our first contract for NASA.
Touchstone Labs opened in 1980 with 2 employees and some great ideas. Today, with help from Senator Robert Byrd, the Wheeling firm's payroll tops $2 million, and its products fly on the space shuttle.
It was Senator Byrd who appropriated money to fund the research, and more than anything, he gave us encouragement. It just makes me very proud to have him in our camp.
Robert Byrd for West Virginia.
Now, first warning weather.
The trip along State Route 23 through the Kentucky coal fields featured a thick fog-like smoke today as the Big Sandy Valley acted as a sort of bowl for smoke to collect in from nearby fires. And you might ask now, if hot air rises, why is the smoke not above us, up in the hills, just up there? And the answer is, well, again, the bowl shape of the Ohio Big Sandy and Kanawha Valley, in this case, the Big Sandy. And also at night, it gets warmer at 5,000 feet than down in the valleys. It gets very cool down in the valleys. We call that an inversion in meteorology. Inverted, in other words, it's different than what we normally think. And when cool air is down at the ground, that inversion simply traps the smoke into the river valleys. Evening weather planner, right now the smoke is in the process of kind of backing up down into the coal fields. In other words, it's spread out during the day, then it kind of contracts at night. Pleasant for most of us. You might be tempted to take the kids out for a little ice cream tonight because it's a spring-like evening, 55 by 10 o'clock. In fact, the 6 o'clock numbers are still near 70 from Celebration Station in Charleston over to the Superblock in Huntington and to the Esplanade in Portsmouth. And pick out your favorite temperature and now watch the humidity. You can see the blue marble shows that 16% humidity was the driest today in the Charleston area. We see at least a little hope coming on because the 15 to 25% humidities is generally eastern sections. Through the river cities, we're a little moister at 30% humidity, and it's the 50% humidity from Cincinnati back toward Lexington where there are clouds on the move tonight and maybe the prospect for some showers because those clouds are moving into the Ohio Valley. We will cloud over tonight. That will prevent the temperature from falling to nearly as cold levels as we've seen earlier this week. And those clouds are producing some light showers from east of Paducah up toward Louisville and towards Cincinnati. But they are in a weakening mode right now. And our expectation as this front comes through is the moisture is going to split. Some go to the north, some go to the south, and that's going to leave us with just a scattered shower through the weekend. So let's pinpoint our forecast. And your first warning report, an increase in cloud cover, much milder temperatures tonight. We think the smoke is going to contract back down to its source region in the coal fields, 50 to 55 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, the haze a byproduct of the southern smoke, and a scattered shower or two optimistically can dampen the forest beds. High temperature at 70 degrees. On the extended forecast, I like the looks of high school football games tomorrow night. Dry for the most part. I think Saturday is a partly cloudy day at 60 degrees, a little cooler on Sunday in the upper 50s. Then early next week, a big storm is going to be forming out on the plains. Right now, the early indications are there'll be a couple bands of showers that may move our way. But I'm a little less confident tonight than I was last night, Tim, that we're going to get a soaker at least in the next 7-day period. But we've got plenty of time to update and hopefully change that forecast from the Weather Center.
Let's hope for a change. All right. Thanks, Tony. New tonight at 11. A lot of people in our region light up, but we may not be known as the home to the most smokers anymore. We'll tell you why. And we'll tell you who's spending money on the candidates. It's an eye-opener about campaign finance in the Mountain State. That's coming up tonight at 11 on News Channel 3. And up next on News Channel 3 at 6, we'll tell you the story of a Marshall football player whose work isn't done when he leaves the football field. As we go to the break before sports, we'll check the numbers from Wall Street. Today, a mixed day. The Dow Jones was down 18. The buyers were in a high-tech mood. The NASDAQ was up 95 points.
This newscast is brought to you by Genesis Hospital System.
We were with the patriots who fought and bled for these stars and stripes around the world. We are the makers of America's firearms. But now we're being bullied into a new fight with politicians and lawyers who are using your tax dollars to sue us for the acts of criminals they won't stop, threatening our constitutional rights and what we fought so hard to preserve, America's freedom.
Time is money, that's what they say. So play an instant game today. You can win it in a minute. Thousands do every day. You can win it in a minute. Come on and scratch today.
Play the new Ohio Lottery $5 instant game, Cash Blitz. There's a hot 10, fast 25, and quick $50 prize. Up to 10 chances to win with over $25 million in prizes.
Win it in a minute. Oh, come on and scratch today.
Keys here for sports, and the Mountaineers have a new quarterback, and when I was up at the Notre Dame game, he actually looked pretty good down on the field.
Not by choice, of course. Brad Lewis is hurt, but you know, when your first significant actions against Notre Dame, that's a tough
Maybe
thing
it was
for a
his
redshirt.
name, McBrien. Maybe that's what.
Hey, I never thought of that. Huh? They hope it continues. The people in West Virginia University's football offices, doubling as the infirmary, by the way, tell us that Brad Lewis will definitely not start on Saturday. In fact, the only way he might see time is if Scott McBrien is really struggling. Of course, for McBrien, it is baptism by fire. This week, he jumps into the frying pan against Syracuse, but his teammates say, hey, if he's the man, they'll make it work for him out there.
Scott McBrien comes in, there's nothing that can be said. You know, he did a great job stepping in. So, you know, I guess we'll see what happens with Brad. You know, being the first time he's played in a big game, you know, he was a little antsy at first, and then he settled down. Thought he played pretty well for a redshirt freshman.
Indeed, he has. If he happens to get hurt, you expect to see Brad Lewis, because West Virginia's next quarterback, Rashard Marshall, he is a redshirt freshman. They'd rather not bring him out of redshirt. They'd rather, of course, go with Brad Lewis if he can go. All right, to Marshall now. The Thundering Herd has a host of events planned for the 30th anniversary of the Marshall plane crash. This afternoon, Sports Illustrated has an article on the national interest this year. It's labeled Echoes of Tragedy, and it basically documents why all the national interest in the Thundering Herds program and its rise to prominence. Remember, the shows you can watch: November 8th, ESPN, a half-hour documentary at 10 o'clock. November 12th, West Virginia Public Television, 7 p.m., a 2-hour documentary. And HBO, Bryant Gumbel's Real Sports, will have a story on the Marshall plane crash at 9 o'clock on November 14th. Hey, when Marshall played Kent State a few weeks ago, the Herd's David Foy set a new record for most catches in a game with 15. Foy, and the best grab he'll make, will be taking a hold of his diploma on the graduation stage this spring. Matt Shepard has his story.
Saturday, October 21st wasn't just another day at the office. David Foy will tell you that. His 15 catches set a new Marshall record. Now this is another day at the office. As an intern at the William Redd firm, David Foy studies as much law as playbooks during the week.
I pretty much knew I wanted to be a lawyer when I was young. The first day, when you got the registration for class and stuff like that, I went over and checked out the criminal justice department, and then next thing you know, I was a major in it.
And it was during that first year that David got serious about academics. It was all he had. He had to sit out of football the first year because of Proposition 48. Now he uses that as motivation for today's young players.
I pretty much sit there and try to advise them, you know, tell them the do's and don'ts and what classes be best for you, and try to be a counselor to them.
But for the next 3 weeks, David's most important case is on the football field. Marshall winning the MAC championship has almost turned into conference law. And a future attorney at wide receiver doesn't think that will change this year either. Matt Shepard, News Channel 3 Sports.
And he better bring his briefcase on Saturday, huh, Matt? And finally, Tayshaun Prince, Sam, has been named first team All-SEC, and Keith Bogan's their point guard, second team. But Kentucky not picked to win the league at Tennessee this year.
That's kind of surprising.
Interesting.
All right, thanks a lot, Keith. When we come back, the political process put to work in school. See who these students elected president.
He's been a leader in the drive to improve our schools and recruit better teachers. And along with new funds, he's demanded greater accountability to make sure our children are learning. Jim Humphreys. He's worked to expand scholarships for West Virginia students and helped establish the state savings plan that makes it easier for families to save for college. Now Jim Humphreys is working to reduce class sizes so students get the individual attention they deserve. Tell Jim Humphreys to keep working for our schools and our kids.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a stockbroker. I want to be a scientist.
We put a man on the moon. We can give our children a basic education. We can find our people good jobs. I'm Carolyn Horn, just a Kentucky woman who believes in the 3 R's, computer training and classroom discipline. And I'll make new jobs a top priority.
I just want to be somebody.
We can do better. Carolyn Horn. Here's what we know about Jim Humphreys. He campaigns as the champion of working families, but repeatedly tried to raise our taxes and wants us to pay for millionaires' prescription drugs. He insists he paid his taxes on time, but state records prove he didn't. And Jim Humphreys says he supports medical privacy, but his firm violated the privacy of a pregnant employee. It comes down to trust, and we just can't trust Jim Humphreys. Tell Jim Humphreys that's not putting working families first.
I have 8 brothers and sisters. We've had a lot of joy in my family, but some pain. Sometimes we've had to pitch in and help a family member in need. But some people don't have a large family who can help them. Millions of seniors face rising prescription drug costs and have no help to pay for it. Many of them are right here in our part of Ohio. I'm fighting for a prescription drug benefit under Medicare so that all seniors can get the medicine they need.
Ted Strickland for Congress.
You know, Tim, when you're not old enough to vote, you can pretty much hold your election day anytime you want.
Well, that's very true, Sam. And the students at Cannonsburg Elementary decided to vote for president today. It's a school-wide project to teach kids all about the election process so they are ready to make their real vote when it counts when they're 18.
It's very important to vote.
The numbers are in, and the students at Cannonsburg in Kentucky elected George W. Bush about 3-1 over Al Gore. Sam, we're going to put this script aside. We'll see if the kids pick that one right.
There you go. NBC Nightly News is next.
We'll see you tonight at 11.
Good night.
Watched by more people than all other local station newscasts combined. Thanks for choosing WSAZ News Channel 3, where your news comes first.
Criminals have rights. Protesters have rights.